This program is brought to you in part by...
Hey everyone, I'm here in Sydney, Australia, and I thought we'd start today's first lesson right outside the Sydney Opera House. Well, better get out my whiteboard. There we go. Hey math group, so the first thing I have for you guys today is we're going to work on a perimeter circumference problem about a 2D shape that has a rectangle with two semicircles on the outside. All right, I'm going to get our board set up so we can begin. Give me a second. Right, so what I have to do first is, well, let's just look at the shape. So I'm going to have to find the perimeter of just the outside of this entire shape. So nothing on the inside, just the outside. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to mark my shapes. And I know that this is going to have, this semicircle will have the same circumference as this semicircle. Now, I'm going to find just one of them first. And the cool thing is, all the way across here is my diameter. So I know everything I need. And for this one, we're going to use the pi method. So I have pi times, what? Good, diameter times 1/2 or divided by 2. Now the cool thing is, this length is in the inside, so I do not have to add that to our step. Now let's go ahead and let's solve. So I take pi, 3.14 times my diameter, which is 12, and I'm going to multiply. 4 times 2 is, good, 8. 2 times 1 is 2, very good. 2 times 3, 6, awesome. Don't forget your placeholder, which is a 0. 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 1 is 1, and 1 times 3 is 3. Now I'm going to add them all together. These are my partial products to get my final product. 8 plus 0 is 8, 2 plus 4 is 6, 6 plus 1 is 7, and 3 is 3. Then I'm going to count my decimal places. 1, 2, and I'm going to do the same in my product. 1, 2. So on the circumference of a circle with a diameter of 12 would be 37 and 68/100ths. However, we need to find what a semicircle would be. So we're going to times 1/2 or divide by 2, which is what I'm going to do. Bring your decimal point up to the top in the beginning. And let's start. 2 goes into 3 how many times? Good, 1 time. Subtract. I get 1, bring down my 7, and I have 17. 2 goes into 17. Good, 8 times, and I get 16. I subtract, I get 1. Bring down, I have 16 now. 2 goes into 16, again, 8 times. That will never change. 8 times 2 is 16. Subtract, 0, woohoo, no remainder. 2 goes into 8 4 times. And like I said, no remainder. So now I have this circumference, this part of my perimeter and circumference, and I'm going to add it right here, which is the 18 and 84/100ths. Now, if I know this side, I know my other semicircle side, which is also 18 and 84/100ths. Let's go ahead and add those together so I just know the total or the sum of at least those two. Ooh, whoa. What do you notice if I add them together? I get back to the answer of a circumference of a full circle. This will add up to 37 and 68/100ths. Ready? Bam! It sure does. So next time, or while you do it, all you really have to do is pretend like you're putting these two semicircles together. Because remember, the length is in the inside. You don't have to worry about it. We're just doing perimeter. So put those semicircles together. All you have to do is measure the circumference of that semicircle, and then you'll have to do this last step we're going to do. So do that shortcut next time if you want to. So now that I have 37 and 68/100ths, all I have to do is add the remaining perimeter, which is this straight across right here and straight across right there. And I have the dimension. It is, or I have the measure. It is 22 centimeters for each, which I know if I add 22 and 22, I get 44 centimeters. So I'm going to add 44, and now I'll have my total perimeter. 8 plus 0 is 8, 6 plus 0 is 6, decimal point. 7 plus 4 is 11, and 1 plus 3 plus 4 is 8. And the circumference perimeter of this shape is 81 and 68/100ths centimeters. All right, I'm gonna step back. Go ahead. You can take a nice picture of our work. Press pause, zoom in, do whatever you need to do. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and erase our board, ladies. Do 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 do. Well, that ends our first lesson. I'm gonna go ahead and pack this thing up. Love that noise. So since our last lesson, I've been working on my teleportation device, and I figured out why I cannot navigate to where I want to go. I was missing my flux capacitor. So I went on Amazon, ordered it, rush delivery, and it came in. Now, I'll show you guys. There it is, my flux capacitor. So, let's go ahead and let's go somewhere else for our next lesson. Have you ever heard of the rock formation here in Australia? It's called Uluru. That's where we're gonna go next. Now, I definitely have to take my teleportation device because we can't walk there. It is nowhere near Sydney here. So, let's go ahead and let's get this bad boy expanded. Bam. Okay, so let's go ahead and I'm gonna enter in the coordinates. All right, we're good to go. I'll see you guys there.
Now, a commercial break with Miss Seifert.
Hi y'all, this is Miss Seifert. Just wanted to say I miss you all, and today we are gonna make a mask. So you will need a 20 by 20 sheet of fabric or bandana, and you're gonna fold each side to the middle. Once you do that, you're gonna flip it over. You're gonna fold each side to the middle again. Then on the sides, you're gonna kind of put 2 rubber bands on each side, and then you're gonna fold it into the middle.
1 hour later. 2 hours later.
All right, I'm ready to go. Got my mask on.
G'day mates, I'm out here in the outback with the Uluru Rock Formation behind me. Dude, what took you guys so long? I was able to get here, get myself a chair, a nice walking stick. Well, I guess my flux capacitor makes my teleportation device a lot more faster. Woohoo! Gonna go ahead and put my chair down, get the whiteboard out so we can start our second lesson. Excellent. Right, math group, for our last example today, it's actually going to be the same thing, but we're going to use the 22/7 method. I'm going to set up so we can get started. All right, so this is going to be very similar. We're going to have the same exact method in order to find the semicircles. However, do you remember that trick we did last time? Instead of finding the semicircles, because we don't need their length, we can put these semicircles together to find the outside, and that's the circumference. So let's just do that. That'll be way more simple. So all we need to do to find the circumference of a circle is 22/7 times 12, which is our diameter because it goes across. Now, that's all we're going to have to do because we're going to combine these to make a circle. So let's do that. Now, I take my 22 and I multiply it by my 12. 2 times 2 is 4. Good job. 2 times 2 again is 4. Don't forget your placeholder for your second partial product. 1 times 2 is 2, and 1 times 2 is 2. You add them together and you get 264. So, our circumference right now is 264. Not quite. I forgot to divide by 7. So, I'm going to now do that. And you're going to go, the deepest into the decimals you're going to go is to the hundredths place. So, stop when you get there, okay, guys? Well, we'll see if we even have to. How many times does 7 go into 26? Good. It does go into it 3 times. 3 times 7 is 21. I subtract and I get 54. How many times does 7 go into 54? It doesn't go into it evenly. It goes into it 7 times and I get 49. When I subtract 54 minus 49, what do I get, guys? Yeah, we should do that. That's a good idea. Let's go ahead and borrow and regroup. 4, carry the 1. All right, good. Now, what's 14 minus 9, group? Good, it is 5, and 4 minus 4 is 0. So now I'm going to have to add a 0. That means I have to put a decimal place, bring down my 0, and I have 50 again. Or I have 50, sorry. Now, 7 goes into 50 again 7 times, and 7 times 7 is 49. Have 1 left, add in a 0, and I have 0. And 7 goes into 10 one time. Ding, ding, ding. I'm in the hundredths place, so I'm going to stop there. So now I have the circumference of both semicircles combined, and that is 37 and 71 hundredths. The only thing I have to do left is, well, let's look. Let's go ahead and trace what we have. I have around here, and I have here. So I only have 2 lengths left to find. And here. And they're both 22. So I'm going to add those 2 lengths together, which is 44. And let's add it to our circumference. You can make this a decimal if it's easier to add. 1 plus 0 is 1. 7 plus 0 is 7. Decimal point. 7 plus 4? Good. It is 11. Carry the 1. 1 plus 3 plus 4. Nice. It is 8. And our answer is approximately going to be 81 and 71 hundredths centimeters. Now, if you notice, it's a little bit different than our last problem's answer, and that's because 22/7 isn't exactly 3.14. So, it is going to differ a little bit. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and erase. Oh, let me step back. What I have for you guys today. Let me go ahead and pack this thing up. Perfecto. All right, time to get the teleportation device out. Sweet. Now, time to head back to my distance learning classroom. Let me set in the coordinates. Perfect. All right. Can't forget my new chair and my stick. All right. I'll see you guys in my distance learning classroom. me to the benchmark classroom.